Welcome back to the Bad Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Eisenstadt. Today we have a real treat in the studio for you. Tommy Mello, owner of A1 Garage Door. I'm going to let you give a little bit of a 60-second intro, if you can, about you and yourself, and we'll get started.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Robert. So we've been in business here at A1 Garage Door Service since 2007. Got into the business by painting garage doors. One of my roommates was a manager at a garage door company, said, "Can you paint the doors?" I said, sure. I was doing landscaping before that. I'm allergic to grass. Didn't make a lot of sense. So we made every mistake in the book. We kept falling forward. Never really worried about profit. I was working 3 jobs. I was bartending. I was serving tables. I was even bussing tables. Ended up getting a master's degree, which did nothing for me in the blue-collar business. One thing led to another. Now we're north of $200 million. I used to be very proud of bragging about revenue, but the real deal is we're at 24% bottom line, moving towards 30%. And, this year we should do about 270, depending on how acquisitions go. I'd like to do more than that. But revenue's for vanity, profit is for sanity. I've got the Home Service Expert podcast. We're number 14th in the country for business right now on Apple, which is iTunes. And serial entrepreneur, severe ADHD. And so hold in there with me if you guys can on this podcast, but just trying to live life to the fullest, enjoy, I have a lot of business and pleasure that I mix. I was on 2 news segments today, several meetings, going to visit a customer we're installing 3 doors at right now, really high-end doors, and then we're headed to take the Vegas team out to dinner, about 20 of us. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome, man. I see your vans everywhere around town, and it's so cool to see just the branding behind it. And obviously now, since I've I guess been saying your name today, so everything is just popping up, Instagram, Facebook, all day long. It's super cool. So you started from a landscaping company and started painting garage doors. Did you have any experience painting or no?
Zero. I hired this old guy. I paid him a few $100 a door. He taught me on 3 doors how to do it. I went to Home Depot, picked up a Magnum 5. Used to buy Glidden Speed Coat for $10 a gallon, and really got to the point where I could paint 10 doors a day. My buddy said the maximum you're going to be able to do is 3 doors a day. So I was 21, making $800 Saturday, $800 Sunday profit, and then go bartend, and then go serve tables, and then run the landscaping. I could always make a lot of money, but I had to work for it.
Right.
A business is when you don't work and you still make money. You could be in Hawaii. Like right now, we're on pace today to almost have $1 million day, just under $1 million. And I'm here in Vegas doing news segments. So a business runs without you. A lot of people have an LLC and think they're a business owner.
Right.
But the business does not run when they're not there. And I don't think that's a business. And by the way, that was me for 8 years. And I've been in business almost 20.
So what do you think the transition was, or I guess that mindset shift that you had to go from working every day to make the money to being able to step away and being an actual business owner and not having to show up for your daily operations? Was it the systems, or was it purely just you wanted your time back?
Yeah, so systems, standard operating procedures, systems, checklists, manuals. Met a guy. The best book I've read, one of the best books, obviously the E-Myth was a big book on systems, but 7-Power Contractor, Al Levy's manuals changed the game for me. And what I say very often is the hustler had to die.
Yep.
Everybody's like, you got to have a side hustle. You got to be a hustler. You got to, you got the guys that are flipping real estate. So you're like, man, that guy just made $100,000 last month on one piece of real estate. I need to do that. I see people divest out of the business once they really start making money, when they should double down. I got a buddy, Tom Howard. I mean, he's investing in a few businesses. He's about to take $20 million out of one, sell his other business for $150 million, sell another business for $40 million. A lot of people divest right before they're 3 feet from gold. And when you double down, the multiples in home service, because we were deemed essential, is ridiculous. This is the golden era. Yeah. This is like the time that I believe in 2.5 years I'll be a billionaire, and I believe I'll 10x that in 2 years after that.
Have you ever tried or thought about adding services to your garage door company? For example, you see a lot of plumbing and electrical companies offer plumbing and electrical. You know what I mean? So have you ever thought about adding additional services to your garage door company?
We tried with epoxy. It really wasn't great. When you do that, you got to have a whole new department come in, and you need to put systems around that. The reason why HVAC does electrical and plumbing is because they got a shoulder season. They make a ton of money, but they need to keep those people busy in the off season. You need to sell service agreements. So we're going to go hard in the paint on storage, the stuff that hangs down from the ceiling. I think that's a great opportunity, but I'm very, very focused. Some people like to own a market. My buddy Josh Kelly and his dad Paul own a company called Parker and Sons. They're going to do $300 million this year just in Phoenix.
Just in Phoenix?
Yeah, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Then they added water purification and all kinds of other things because they own the customer. My philosophy is own the systems for garage doors and expand across the country. Like, instead of going deep at your customer base, go wider and be very good at one trade. They both work. It's just we took a different approach.
Yeah, it's interesting. Man, it's super interesting. So when do you plan on rolling out the whole storage thing, or are you already doing that?
So I worked with my manufacturer for the last year to get a product that was sexy, that was affordable for me, that we've got trademarked and patented. And my philosophy is we're going to go in and ship it to the house after we sell it, so it's the right product. Because it's not just one. You could add on all these layers, and depending on the ceiling height. So I didn't want to inventory the product. If I could go back in time, a lot of people are like, man, I should get in garage doors. I run 18,000 calls a month. If I went into HVAC, plumbing, electrical, I'd already have $10 billion. Every guy I know that went from garage doors to HVAC, plumbing, stopped doing garage doors. And one guy was doing $8 million after 15 years, did $11 million in HVAC his first year. Everybody HVAC that I know went to garage doors got out of it within 3 years.
Man, that's crazy.
I could put a hat on here in Vegas or Phoenix that says I do HVAC units, and I could be busy for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And people are like, you don't know how difficult it is. I'm like, it's all about ticket size, your average ticket. If you don't have a big average ticket, like roofing, gutters is big. Like there's some big ones. Window washing, power washing is tough. It's hard to build a big business. You can make a great living. But if you want a business that has real EBITDA or profit, you got to go into big ticket items.
So it's funny that you said that. I own a commercial pressure washing company, but I also just partnered into an air conditioning heating company.
Yep.
And it's been a complete game changer for me. You're right. It's really hard as far as like the winter seasons, because we don't offer plumbing or electrical,
right?
Just air conditioning and heating. But there are much bigger ticket items.
I got a buddy here. I won't go into who he is because it's kind of private, but just him alone in HVAC unit sales will do $24 million.
Yeah, that's nuts.
One guy.
What?
One guy, $24 million.
He's the only guy doing service and install and everything?
No, not the install, just sales.
Oh, okay.
But he does it all off service agreements. He runs the service agreements. So for the year, one guy, and when you do $24 million, your profit margins are 40% plus.
Yeah. I mean,
it's unheard of. I mean, he's the only guy in the country doing close to what he's doing. And Vegas is a great market. You got to be in a really, really hot 120 plus degrees to get to that level.
Yeah, well,
Arizona's great. I mean, there's a lot of competition, but, I don't look at competition like I bury the competition.
Yeah.
When there's an old saying that Ray Kroc said, when your competition is drowning, stick a hose in their mouth. And we do a pretty good job of that.
How many states are you in?
23.
23. Mm-hmm. Dang, I think when you wrote this book, you were in 12.
Yeah, that's an old book.
Right. That's crazy. So
6 years old now.
At what point in your business were you at when you decided to go from just Arizona and add another state?
So what I figured out was I added Tucson because Phoenix, I get to Tucson in 2 hours. And being young and a little naive, if I could go back in time, I would have said, own the market that you were grew up in, that you go to church in, that your kids grow up in, that you have friends, take severe market share. The reason I went to Wisconsin as the first state is because my sister lives there. I only have one sibling. I have a niece and two nephews, so I spent a lot of time out there. And my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, his youngest brother, super funny, super trustworthy. He ran it, and guess what our next biggest market is? Milwaukee. And then I went to Vegas next. Guess what my next biggest market is? So it goes Phoenix, Tucson, Milwaukee, Vegas. So these things take time. But, I'm figuring out the code. And I've got a plan where I think this business will be worth $15 billion in about 6 years.
Were you absentee by the time you already went to Tucson?
I had to go to Tucson to fix stuff. I had to go when there was problems. Like, no one was there for me back then. I didn't know. Like, if I would have done what I did 7 years ago, I went and traveled to all the big $100 million plus shops, all HVAC, plumbing, electrical. I learned what service agreements are. I learned what financing is. Like, they started in the early 90s. What basically I started in 2017 when I started to get systems in place. If you go look at businesses that are willing to share, you want to learn about cutting 10 years, go visit companies that are more successful, maybe in the same trade that you're never going to compete in, but more importantly, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, there's some roofing companies out there. You go visit them, it's like the air is different. You see the systems, and they're willing to share because they want to pay it forward. You want to see your business explode. Most people can't afford to leave their current market. They're like, if I leave, shit falls apart, and that's just it. If you want to try to figure out how to do it, you're going to go through kindergarten, then you're going to go, to first grade, and then you're going to go through each grade. If you want to cut straight into being a senior and then going to get a bachelor's degree, then a doctorate, you could do all that in 4 years by visiting other shops. And we how many businesses visit our shop? At least, 80 a month.
I was going to say, you host something at your shop where you do like tours or something, right?
Yeah, so TommyMello.com/shop. And we have people come in, and you know what it does? It creates accountability for us. We keep the place clean, keep it organized. And we share. And, the philosophy is you could have anything you want in life if you just help enough people get what they want. I live by that. So what we do is we share a lot, and then people share with us a lot. They'll come up with this new campaign on Facebook or this new software AI they'll come across, and they're like, you helped us so much. You got to check this out. So I'm kind of on the cutting edge of what's going on just because I helped, not maybe sharing. I didn't mentor a lot of people, but I share a lot.
Do you mentor any people now?
So I've got a group called the Home Service Freedom Group. There's about 120 members in there. We got it blocked off, but we've got Garage Door Freedom as well. Every company we work with within 6 months will 3X.
Damn.
I mean, we come up with pay for performance. We dial in their CRM. We get them to the point where they're getting leads. They have accountability of their KPIs. Most people are like, I'm like, what's your booking rate? They're like, I don't know, probably 80%. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Click on your phone and click on your CRM.
Right.
How do you not know your numbers? Like, how do you not know your conversion rate and your average ticket? How do you expect to win? How do you expect to know what to do on a Monday when you don't even know basic numbers in your company? What do? Go pray that things get better?
Right.
Or do you have a plan? And it's a mathematical equation. Everything that I do is math. It's all arithmetic. There's zero guessing involved. You want more leads? I'll show you. First, you figure out what's your booking rate. Then you figure out your conversion rate, average ticket, then your cost to acquire a customer. Those 4 KPIs, I could fix any company on the planet. I could fix your doctor's office. I could fix the manufacturing plant. I could fix anything in Canada. I could fix any company. I could fix your restaurant.
Did you have a coach to teach you that, or was it all just trial and error?
Millions and millions and millions of dollars of coaches.
Right.
Millions of dollars of traveling, visiting shops. Al Levy, the 7-power contractor. I mean, I've worked with guys like Joe Crisara, Jonathan Wistman, got on Service Titan, which was a game changer. And then have really great people like Tom Howard, Travis Ringy, Aaron Gaynor. The guys they hang out with their businesses are all worth $200 million or more. And we all help each other. Tomorrow we got a meeting, the 7 of us, to discuss onboarding, hiring better. We share everything. So we figured out that if we've got accountability partners and we're willing to share, it's a game changer. And we set that up for a reason because we're all willing to give. It's not like I sit around these guys and say, what can I take from you? We say, what can we give to one another, and how do we work together to help each other win?
Were those people, did you know them back when you were like a smaller company?
Service Titan, without Pantheon and Service Titan creating they have a big event, and I met a lot of them there. And then all of a sudden, I started a podcast, wrote a book. People started reaching out to me. So I took people that I like. It's got to be easy, lucrative, and fun. ELF, easy, lucrative, and fun. If it's easy, lucrative, and fun, I'll work with you. Here's my test. I'll look at my cell phone, and if you're calling, if I go, oh man, not him again. He's going to want, never want to give.
Right.
Always, every other call, he's just begging for help. Or is it a 50-50? Every relationship, it could be a 40-60, but it can't be 100%. So if I'm around people that just like teach me, but I don't mind helping people, but to a certain point, it's like, I don't really need much. I don't need money. So it's like, I just want to know that you care.
Right.
And very few people that I meet, it's usually one-sided.
Yeah. Have you paid a lot of money to be in rooms?
Well, last week I paid $10,000 to be in a room.
So you definitely are an advocate of like still hiring coaches.
I hired a coach for 1 hour a month 6 months ago for $300,000 for the year.
Even now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's always somebody doing better. This year I'll have spent over $1.5 million on myself just for coaching. I got three social media coaches, 2 stage coaches. I got the guy I paid $300,000 for, and events that I go to that I'm in small rooms with people that have gone beyond where I want to go. And usually we're talking about billions. I'll pay for that all day long because success leaves clues.
Yeah.
Like this is what got me here. Why would it stop? See, most people stop. Most people are like, I'm too good for that, and to a detriment of themselves.
That's the one thing I always tell everybody is you'll never lose investing in yourself, ever.
Never. I agree.
And learning new skills. I mean, me personally, I try to surround myself with as many people that are above me, I guess, and as far as like business, self-development, whatever it is, that I can. But it's hard to get in front of those people, and paying to be in masterminds or in those rooms are like a really great way to, I guess, get in front of it. I mean, this podcast literally happened from me paying $30,000 to be in a mastermind and meeting Josh.
Josh Latimer?
No, Avon.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, well, I was just on the phone with him 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's the man. He'll be here on Friday.
Yeah, I know. He's a great friend of mine, but that's what I'm saying is like you meet these people by paying to be in rooms, and I think the like mass perspective of it is really hard for people to grasp. Like I don't want to pay to be friends with somebody, and it's like you're not paying to be friends with somebody. You're paying to be in a room full of like-minded individuals that are all trying to obtain the same goal. And it's just
is it paying or is it an investment? See, that's where people, you look at things, a lot of people say that event cost me. But if they said the investment was worth, it changed the whole dynamic. A lot of people say, man, I can't leave my business for 4 days. It'll fall apart when I get back. Well, all the reason to leave. And let people make mistakes. I think a lot of times we hire people, then we say, why didn't you come to me? Because that mistake would have never happened. Why not? I've made millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars of mistakes. People are going to fail, just hopefully not huge. And then they learn from it and they get better. Like invest in your team. You see, me and you are talking right now about how much we like to go to events and how much we like to invest in ourselves. Do you know how many people on my team I send to events and I send to courses and we invest in them? That's what changes the game. Like if we grow this much, what happens? There's this old cliche. What happens if I train them and they leave? What happens if you train them and they stay? How much stronger are they? How much more can you both do together or the whole team?
I've had old, technicians in my company leave and try and start businesses. And like, I've even told my guys, like, if you use my company as a stepping stone in your life, I'm okay with that because I just want you to be better in your life, So that definitely has been a fear of mine previously, but now, I mean, it's obviously making a lot of sense. Like, what if they do stay? And how much better will your company be? I never even thought about that.
They say there's no I in team.
Yeah.
There's an I in win. And if you invest in yourself, like you got to be happy with the person that you see in the mirror. You got to be happy with being a leader. You got to make eye contact. Your network is your net worth. You got to put yourself out there. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're never going to win. But you also got to take care of the team. And I believe in that. And there's no I in team, but there's a me. And I go back to that because if you're not building yourself up and building your team up as well, like I just said, but I see people that they don't want to work out. They're too busy to spend time with family. Like a lot of guys that I know forget why they started.
Yep.
They're like, I want to make more money. I want more freedom, and I want to spend more time with family. Well, let me look at your credit card, Bill. Let me look at your schedule. And it's just not the case. And I admittedly say there's seasons of life that I haven't been great, but at least I can admit it. At least I remember what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm going to change just the next 2 years, thousands of family trees, thousands.
That's what we were talking about earlier, is, like, honestly, getting rich, right? And a lot of people will say, I don't want to be super rich. I don't need to be super rich. And I'm like, why? I want to be as rich as I can possibly get, because the richer I get, and I'm talking literally dollar-wise, the richer I get, the more people I can help and the more people's lives I can change.
If you believe in Jesus or God, you have a responsibility to make as much money as possible. It never said in the Bible money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
So the people that say that, they're losers. They'll never be good at life. They'll never make great money because they don't believe they're worth it. Let's be honest. People say, I just don't care about the money. Well, do you care about being able to do stuff for your family? Do you care about putting your kids in private school or taking them on vacation? I say these things as a cliche. If you don't care about money, that's okay. But for the most part, 90% of people say that because they'll never make enough money to be able to do the things they want to do in their life with their family. So they just say, well, I don't care about money because they'll never know how to make it. And they don't care about themselves. They look in the mirror and they don't like what they see. I mean, those are the facts. I'm not trying to be mean here, but this is the case. I see a lot of people that they're like, why do you care so much about success? I'm like, why do you care so much about losing? My goal is to aspire to be number one. I'm a competitive SOB. I like to win. Everybody that works with me likes to win.
Right.
I don't like to lose. I don't play a game going, it's okay if we lose, at least we all had fun.
Yeah.
I don't do that in anything I do in life.
No participation trophies.
No, I don't believe in that.
Did you play sports growing up?
Oh, yeah, name a sport.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that's where that competitive edge came in.
Yeah, just my dad. My dad was tough on me. He didn't raise a wimp.
Really?
That was okay, just losing.
Dude, I got beat so bad when I was a kid.
Yeah?
Did you not get, did you get the belt?
I got spanked. I mean, my dad learned, when I brought the belt to my dad one day, I think I was like 9 years old. He said to my mom, this isn't working anymore. I was younger than that, actually. I mean, and then they learned the worst thing you could do is make me go to bed early. I was like, I hated that.
Really?
And my bedtime was like 8:30, so they put me to bed at 7, and I'm like, I had an older sister. I just thought it wasn't fair, but I was a bad kid. I mean, I'd get detention. I didn't get suspended, but as a kid, my desk was always on the same side as the teacher's desk looking at the classroom.
Oh, man, you got in a lot of trouble. It's like a trend that I've noticed. The people that got in trouble in school, the people that never really paid attention in school, they all have gone on to be entrepreneurs. I mean, myself, obviously you. Have you ever thought about going to college? Have you ever wanted to go to college? At any
Yeah, I got
point
a
in your life?
master's degree.
Oh, really? In what?
Business.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
Yeah, so I got a master's degree, but I was pre-dental. I took 65 credits, anatomy, physiology, organic chemistry, biochemistry, advanced calculus, interned with a dentist, and he said, 47 years old at the time, the guy, he said, if I were you, I would get a master's degree in business because I'm 47. I still have a lot of debt, and it's not really fun. So I'd go into specialty. I'd get a master's in business, and then I'd think about dental school. And at that time, the garage door business was taking off. And I can't imagine myself working in somebody's mouth now. It seemed cool at the time.
Yeah. Looking back now, did the degree in business help you in your business, or do you think you would have gotten where you are without going to school?
Yeah, I think I would have got there. I mean, luckily, when I was getting my master's program, I learned a lot about search engine optimization, how to edit videos, how to rank on Google. I mean, I sat down with a great table that was in the program. There was about 60 students. I sat down with like 7 of them that just were obsessed with marketing. I was the only one in the whole program not trying to move up the corporate ladder. So I learned to speak better on stages, but I don't think that was the catalyst. The catalyst that brought me to where I am, 2014, I hired a great person, an integrator. If you ever listen to Rocket Fuel, I hired my integrator, great right hand. 2017, I started the podcast, met LEV, and got on Service Titan, game changer. 2020, maybe 2019, I met a guy named Dan Antonelli, Kick Charge.
It sounds super familiar.
Well, he's done over 2,500 brands. When I branded, you just said my trucks look amazing, like
I
it
see them
stands out.
everywhere.
Like, so many people have the worst raps I've ever seen, especially in power washing.
Yeah.
They have everything they do on the side of them, decks, gutters, blah, blah, blah. Just, you need to build a brand.
Yep.
Kick charge is the only way to go. I just think people they don't want to spend the money, and they don't have the right name. They don't have the right brand. They don't have the right culture. When you have the right brand, let me tell you what happens. Easier to hire. You hire A-plus players that want to win. You have a better environment and a culture so people don't quit as quick. Customers will spend more money because the brand is right. You're not called cheap power washing. You're called the right brand. So people, when you pull up, they're like, wow, you guys are good. They're more than willing to spend more money. Every aspect of the business has increased. I was $40 million of revenue before I branded.
Let me ask you a question, because you obviously target home service. Do you guys do commercial at all?
No.
Okay. So it's hard for you to, I guess, answer because you don't do commercial.
I know a lot about commercial.
But in your beliefs, do you think brand matters as much for commercial as it does for residential?
No. Not at all. I mean, literally for commercial, I think what they want is to get the job done. It's obviously B2B. It's a completely different buyer. Right. And usually they're not spending their own money. They just want it done. I don't think brand is as important, for sure. I know a lot of people that show up to commercial work that don't even have anything on the side of their truck. They don't want anything on the side of their truck. So it just depends on the industry. But doing commercial, new construction, residential, retrofit, you do all that stuff, your multiple's going to get hurt. You're a master of everything, a jack of everything, a master of nothing.
Yep.
I'm very familiar with every PE company probably known to man. And I'll tell you, they don't like a ton of commercial because of that it's sometimes net 30, net 60, net 90.
Yeah.
Different types of insurance. It's hard to get great commercial guys. Different type of pay structure. It's just a different business.
What do you mean different kind of pay structure?
I mean, most really good specialists that do most commercial industries in home service, they want more higher hourly. Like a commercial HVAC or garage door guy, they want like $60 an hour. Very rarely is it pay for performance because you can't go into a commercial job and like upsell the same way.
I'm paid for performance.
I do all pay for performance. Your commercial, like power washing, is different. Like, of course, you're going to do apartments and do big buildings. Like, it's a lot different than doing HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage doors commercial. When you do garage doors commercial, you do docks, levelers, storefront. You do all kinds of different stuff. It's just different.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like as far as like the pay for performance thing goes, did you start with pay for performance or did you have hourly?
Yeah, I always started with performance pay. I got really lucky I did it. I started with that, but I rolled it out to my CSRs that answer the phones. Now my dispatchers are paid that way. Now most of my management are performance pay. Yeah.
How?
Well, CSRs, I care about booking rate, that they got the right information, so data integrity. It's really about booking rate for me. Like if they book the call, they get $9 a call. So if they book 3 calls an hour, they get $27, or they get $15 an hour. So I got a minimum. Dispatchers, there's a few things. Like if my schedule short, like is not slammed today, I'm going to call Wednesday, Thursday, Friday jobs and move them up to today to get capacity filled up. So we call that move up revenue.
And they'll get paid on that?
What's that?
And they'll get paid on that?
Oh, yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. I never even thought about figuring out a way.
You get your dispatchers, CSRs aligned with your technicians. This is another thing that I learned from Al Levy. He calls it the triangle of communication. You dial that in, you start printing money. I mean, like I said, today's probably going to be close to a record day, almost $1 million day. And I feel like I'm just getting started. I literally feel like there's so many things I'm working on. I'm working on BI, which is business intelligence. I'm working on AI, artificial intelligence, literally real AI, not what everybody, the buzzwords. I'm working on, there's this thing called Chirp, CHIIRP. And it does all these automations that talk to your CRM. So when you don't book a phone call, it sends out a message to the client to get them to book. 50% of those calls will be recovered. When you don't answer the phone, those are abandoned. It handles that. You don't close a call, Chirp will handle that. Like, you add Chirp, you add Rilla Voice, you add Power BI on top of a great CRM with the right brand, with Dan Antonelli, with the right systems from Al Levy. Mark my words, the guys that do this and come up with performance pay, just those few things in the last 60 seconds I mentioned, you're going to be printing money. You got to a lot of people try to do this stuff and they never get it done. But if you do those things right and you invest in yourself, good luck. No one will be able to keep up with you.
So let's say a small company, I don't know, $1 million wants to integrate AI into their business. All of the like platforms that you just said, what kind of investment do you think that would cost? So
Chirp is cheap, fully deployed, a couple grand a month. Rilla Voice, if you got 5 people, $500-600 a month. It's more in perpetuity. I think you go to Kick Charge, you might spend 20-25 grand, but that's the brand of your company forever. That's what everybody sees. That's on every one of your billboards or yard signs or, Valpak or Clipper or commercial. And that's what people walk into and see your shop. It's like people don't want to spend the money and they cheap out. Everybody that I know that's ever cheaped out and not spend the money, they go back in 2 years, they do it and they go, dude, I'm such an idiot. I thought these wraps look good. I was so prideful of my wraps. I said, everybody talks about them. Everybody sees them. Everybody tells me how good they look. And then I got it done by Dan. I don't care what people say. The revenue tripled, right? Really, they do a competitive analysis. They look at the colors. They help you get the trademark for your brand. They do the copyright stuff. And all of a sudden, dude, game changer, lights out, game over. But so many people, now when I go and help a company out and I invest in companies, I do everything that I just said.
Right.
And people wonder why, I don't invest in a deal unless I can make $100 million now. I mean, it sounds cocky, but I don't really care. I just don't have the time to do it because I know once that I apply these things, and it just depends on where the owner's at. Sometimes a lot of times the owners just, they're the powerhouse brains, so we need to build up their team and their org chart first before they're even ready for this stuff. So first you got to get the org chart right. Make sure you got the right people that can handle getting the stuff that I just said dialed in. You got to pick the right CRM and get the branding down. Now that you have that, we need to hire the right technicians and get them the right training. And then you do this AI, BI, so artificial intelligence, business intelligence, the right CRM, and then you do the automations. Like I said, I'm a technology company that does garage doors. Nobody really is going to have a chance. And I don't mind that because I share everything. I'm on a podcast right now telling everybody what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
The problem is only 1% of 1% will do what I'm saying. Not a lot of people are going to do this because they're going to go, oh, that's expensive. And I say, no, that's an investment. They're going to say, oh, it takes too long. I'm going to say, how long are you going to be broke? Most companies don't have any money to invest in their own business because they're just trying to make a living. The company makes zero. They say I make 200 grand a year. How much does the business make? The business makes zero. You make 200 grand a year. Your business is worth nothing. Yeah, nothing. No one wants to buy your mess and your crap. Until you learn to make a really healthy profit north of 20% and pay yourself 6 figures, you don't really have a business.
So, I mean, for me, I only understand things mainly from the commercial world, right? And I feel like contracts are very important, right?
Yeah, service agreements, yeah.
Service agreements. Do you guys have service agreements for the doors that you install?
So we service anywhere from 16,000 to 18,000 jobs a month. We got 42,000 service agreements. So we're only selling 17% of our clients' service agreements. I want to get that number up. But you got to look at the lifetime value of a service agreement. We started doing these really good in May of 2022. So the lifetime value the math equation hasn't really came to fruition yet.
You don't have enough track.
It happens over years. So, yeah, we do with residential, and we're pulling a lot of analytics and data to really learn how to monetize those in a bigger way. But your job is not to go sell the client a bunch of stuff on their garage door. 1 year later, go sell them more things. It's to be there and build a fence around the customer when they need a new door. It's not to go take advantage. I look at, first of all, my coworkers are my internal customers. I make sure they're taken care of first. And my customers got to win too. The next book I wrote is called Elevate, Build a Business Where Everybody Wins.
Yep.
Have a dream so big that every one of your people that you work with, their dream could come true too. And I think there is really a big brotherhood in every market. There's a family that we look out for one another. And, every single week that goes by, there's another guy buying a house that's never had a nice house. They're putting their kids into a great school. They're taking their family on vacations that they never thought possible. And that's why we got a lot of loyalty and very little turnover. If you're with us for a year, the chance of you leaving are very, very low.
That's awesome. A lot of company culture there.
Yeah.
So I've noticed a lot as far as like the sales culture, things have changed drastically, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like car sales, like I used to fucking hate going car shopping just because you get hounded right away. My mindset behind sales is like, do you have a friend that owns a plumbing company?
Yeah.
Like a close friend.
Very, very close.
If you needed plumbing at your house, who would you call?
Oh, well, in Phoenix?
Yes.
I call the guy to flip all my houses with, but he's in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, well.
But yeah, no, I'll always call my friends. And I don't have to ask for a deal. All I ask is that you take care of me.
Right. And that's like the whole.
I give 20% off to every friends and family. I just do that automatically because I feel like I'm the premium product. I want them to not only use us, but I want them to feel good about the price, but I also want them to share on Facebook and give my name out. So I'm the premium price in the marketplace, but I'm also the best value, which is weird for people don't understand that. Like I'm sending a drug test background check technician with all the parts. We fix it right. I don't want to fix it half-assed, so they call me in a year and say, dude, why didn't you fix it right the first time? So I've got an obligation to all my friends to make sure I fix it right and also make sure I'm charging them enough, but not, I want to give my friends, I don't mind. If I own a bar, I could afford to give somebody a shot of Jaeger for free, but I'm not paying for their whole tab every night.
Right. I think the whole or the whole thing I was getting at behind that was like, if you needed, or if one of your friends needed a garage door, they're going to call you because
they do all the time.
They trust you. They know you're going to do a good job. They know your crews are going to show up on time, right? So like my whole thing is to like make it impossible to not be that guy. You know what I mean?
Make it impossible to not be
the guy that they call.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows who we are, and I got a lot of friends, and sometimes if someone's flipping a house, all I can tell you is that I give options, not ultimatums. I give 6 options to every single client. I've got builder grade. I could get the door Band-Aid for you and get it working if you want to flip the house. Like if friends call me and they say, here's what I'm looking to do, I'll make sure it fits within their budget. I'll make sure I'm competitive. I offer a price beat guarantee. That's why I have options. If you're not giving options to your clients, you're losing big time.
Yeah.
And if you're not using financing, you're losing big time. Did you want to use your money today or did you want to use our money?
Is that how you sell it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys do in-house financing or do you use a third-party company?
Third party.
Okay. And you use ServiceTitan, right?
ServiceTitan, we use Service Finance, we use Green Sky, but we've been using mostly Good Leap.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just got into the whole financing thing and it's crazy. As far as we use WiseTac.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
I got a lot of tips for financing. Never call it financing, call it a promotion.
What do you mean? Break that down.
Never say to the client, hey, let me ask you something. Do you need financing? You look broke. You look like you can't afford this. Or if I said, hey, have you heard about our promotion, Robert? A lot of our clients are using this. Why is it a promotion? Because I'm paying a dealer fee to buy down your rate. I'll never combine our promotion with a discount, by the way, because you're already paying a dealer fee to get the finance deal. Number 2, you never, ever introduce the customer to the cost, the real cost. You say the monthly fee.
Right.
So you always got to show the customer the monthly fee instead of the whole price. Never say the word hundreds or thousands. So if it's $786, you just say $786. A lot of guys buy out of their own pocket, and that's a huge mistake. Your guys that probably, make $16 to $25 an hour performance pay at an average of $30 an hour, whatever that is. If they're residential, like they tend to sell out of their own pocket. They don't own a house, they don't own a brand new car, and they go, oh my gosh, it's $7,000. And you're like, hey, you're looking at about 7. So you just say it, you make eye contact, and the cool thing about financing, it gives the maximum number that you qualified for. So if I run your score real quick, by the way, it's not a hard pull. You got to make sure to tell customers it's not a hard pull. It'll say authorized for $25,000. So to sell you a signature package becomes easy. And then what you do is price desensitize the customer. So ask me how much a door costs.
How much does a door cost?
Some of our clients, they spend upwards of $40,000, $45,000, all the way down to $5,000, depending on what you're looking at. What did you hear in the beginning?
40 to 45,000.
So when I give you a price of 7, what are you thinking? Man, I got off good.
But the thing that I heard last was 5,000.
Yeah, but what you hear first, I'm talking very, very fast.
Right.
But I'll say, you're looking at about 40 $45,000, and we could bring it all the way down to like a builder grade for $4 or $5,000.
Right.
In your mind, you heard the first thing. So if I give you 7 in that spectrum, how do you feel? Like you got off good.
Yeah. Or overwhelmed, but yes.
The fact is, if you own a home in Las Vegas, you've made a lot of freaking equity over the last few years.
Yep.
The garage door is the #1 return on investment, more than your kitchens or bathrooms. Remodel Magazine has said this 7 years in a row.
Really?
Yeah, it's the smile of your home. It's 40% of your curb appeal.
That's interesting.
It's where all the nasty bugs come in. You know, what's on the other side of the garage? The kitchen. Where do you think all the nasty bugs, the spiders, most of the time on the other side of the garage is the kitchen. That's where all the bugs and stuff come from. So scorpions here, spiders.
Yeah.
It's mice.
So you guys, obviously, in those service agreements, you guys are coming through, replacing seals, doing all those kinds of things.
Yeah, we lubricate, adjust, tighten everything on the door. We're going to save you some money today if you sign up for our service agreement.
Gotcha. Oh, so if you install the door, sign up for the service agreement.
I don't want to sell service agreements on new doors very often. I want to sell them on service calls. Because on the service agreement on a new door, I'm not getting a new door sell for 15 years down the road.
Right.
So on service agreements, it's more important to sell service agreements.
Gotcha.
Service calls.
Well, and the doors that you're putting in are such high quality, they probably won't even need as much of.
They don't need it because we trademarked our own parts too, like Max Life. If you look up Max Life, like Max Life torsion spring, we've got the trademark on it. So we try to sell parts that no one else could compete on. Like when they're selling apples to apples, I'm selling oranges.
So you're trying to, I mean, you're vertically integrating everything.
Yeah, I mean, my manufacturers manufacture because I'm such a big client of theirs. I'll spend $30 million this year with my biggest manufacturer.
Have you thought about going into manufacturing?
Yeah, it's dumb. We want to be a master of our trade. People start going into fleet management. They start buying used trucks. Why would anybody buy a used truck? Tell me that. When you're small, you have to. I bought a lot of them.
I was going to say, I bought used trucks.
I bought a ton. I was the king of used trucks. I had 2 lifts in my warehouse, and I had 2 mechanics. And then I realized accelerated depreciation. I realized what happens when a truck breaks down and it's not under warranty. One of my top technicians is out of work for the week. What happens when the client sees that and says, they're not worth 10 grand. Look at their used sloppy trucks. Look at the guy getting out of the truck. He doesn't even respect himself. Yep. Doesn't look me in the eye. He smells like cigarettes. His breath is kicking. His shirt's untucked. He's fat. No respect for himself. Those are not who we hire.
Yeah. Man, I feel bad. My shirt's untucked.
Mine is too. It's just a podcast.
No, I know, man. Well, cool, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here.
Yeah, I love this, man. We love doing this.
It's there's a lot of value, obviously. Where would you recommend people find you? Would you rather people just go look at your YouTube channel and follow you there?
So TommyMello.com. Some people love TikTok, official Tommy Mello. Some people like Instagram, official Tommy Mello. Some people like Facebook. Join our group. It's Home Service Expert. There's 11,000 people. We're having conversations all day, every day about Jobber versus Service Fusion versus Service Titan versus House Call Pro. We're talking about different branding things. We're talking about who knows the best finance company. We're talking about how to hire great people, not using Indeed or Glassdoor or ZipRecruiter. I think that people, it doesn't cost anything. I'm not selling anything in there. It's just a great group of people, of smart-minded people that want to win. But TommyMello.com is all the places to find me. And, Home Service Expert Podcast. And real pleasure being here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the opportunity. I might sound a little cocky. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. I enjoy business, and I really do. I care a lot about the trades. I care about the blue-collar people. I'm not trying to sound cocky. I remember what it was to be $1 million. I remember what it was like to have nightmares, and relationships got literally, really affected through business. So I know what it's like to be in the truck I was in the truck for 8 years. So I'm not being cocky. I'm just telling you guys the mistakes I made. So just hopefully you take it with a grain of salt and realize I'm not trying to slap you in the wrist. I'm just trying to tell you I've been there. I made the mistakes, and hopefully you don't have to make the same ones. So
yeah, I don't think you're being cocky. I think you're at a different level.
Yeah, you know? I appreciate it.
Really quick, one more time, where can they find that group of 11,000 people?
Go to Facebook and just type in home service expert.
Okay, so you guys can literally go to Facebook and go to Home Service Expert, and without having to pay $30,000 like I did to be in a group, or $1 million over the other groups that you've been in, or whatever it is, you guys can literally get this information for free and be in a community of a ton of like-minded individuals that are all trying to better their lives and grow their businesses. So go on Facebook, check out the Home Service Expert, check out his YouTube channel, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel. We'll see you next time.